Hello, this is Big Crone Energy, and I'm Angela. And originally I had planned, because this is the 2nd of June, to do my May wrap up, but it was a heavy month, and I want to sit down and properly take the time when I have the spoons, energy, all that, to really think about my month and share with you guys. So today I just watched a video by, it seemed like a pretty new channel, Frost and Forest, and I've always had this kind of idea of wanting to do a video like this, but she did a very good job of presenting her thoughts on it, that it gave me the courage to actually do it. So she's in the title, but I'm also link her below. I don't remember if I just said Frost and Forest, and it was her Deck Dealbreakers. So things in decks that she typically doesn't like, but does have some things in her collection as an exception to the rule. So I have talked about some things just conversationally in other videos, but I'm actually going to present. So the first thing, she had the opposite problem where she didn't like large decks. I love large decks. For me, it's the minis, not the pocket. I'm okay with pocket, but it's the minis. And this is the Lily Black Tarot and the Lily White Tarot. And these came from France, and I got them. I had wanted them for years, but the shipping is so horrible. and then the exchange rate in US to euros at the way back then, a few years ago, was quite a bit of difference. Now it's more leveled out, so it's I don't lose as much money kind of thing. So I got a different deck from this creator. I think it's Cecil. Anyway, let me pull this out, I'll tell you. This is the one I saw and I wanted, this Oracle, and I love it. And it's by Cecilia Millsville. And so are these. And so I got that. I thought, well, I'll just get these two. But I felt like the large deck, because we have to decide, what is, I guess I'll start showing you the cards. What is affordable to us? What can we afford? Because these are not haves, must-haves. These are not, especially when, all you really need is one deck. And if you wanted to, you could write the names of the suits and stuff on a scrap piece of paper or post it and use it that way. So these are luxuries. And so I decided to go with the mini, not really knowing exactly what size the mini was, like how many, but I should know because it said mini. So this, and I have one other mini that I thought, well, maybe it was that's a mass market one, but no, I just don't pull them out. I just don't use them, and the artwork is so beautiful and it resonates with me. I thought this one would be my favorite, but actually the Lily White is the more favorite for me. But yeah, so these are mini. I no longer will buy a mini deck. I just had to tell myself no. So that's the first kind of deal breaker. I'm glad I do have these, but like I said, I just don't pull them and use them as readily. They're not on my first mind, and I think if I had them in full size, I would. Another one, and I've showed this many times, and this is a very popular one, and this represents my aesthetic is more gritty and more kind of like shadowy in general, and this is a hug deck for sure. Very, to me, more cheerful colorings, and this is not quite a mini. This is like as small as I'd want to go, because this is the pocket one, and I have no desire to get the bigger one. But I don't have a lot of quote-unquote easy hug decks, which this is an easy, kind hug deck. Most of the decks in my collection tend to be quite biting. So this is good to have in my collection for when I do need that hug, when I need that soft place to land, and just need some need the decks to talk to me nicely. But typically, cutesy decks are just. In fact, I had some, and I gave them away when I brought all my stuff back out and decluttered. Let's see here. So then the next one that I would say is a deal breaker, and I've talked about this on my channel, is nature decks that are not people-y. So like nature, all landscape, or all animals, especially in tarot, like oracles, not a problem at all. But in tarot. But I saw this, somebody used this in their private Fairlight. What is the name of her channel? Anyway, I became a member just to check it out, and she does member readings, and she used this, and so I thought, well, this, and then I also watched a couple of walkthroughs, and people raved about it, and so this is the Walking Meditation Tarot, and I like the fact that it's manipulated photography, and that's definitely my aesthetic. So this is in order because I haven't used it. So I picked it up. Love the edging. Love the backs. And I am glad I have it, even though I haven't used it, because I do want to use it. But I think there is some animals every once in a while. But I do think it'll be hard for me to read more. I do not like this, but this is the only card in the deck I don't like, but I get it. So yeah, it's just I read with meanings, and then also with what's on the card, as kind of give me intuition hits. So yeah, so it just makes it harder for me personally to read this kind of thing. So any nature deck, and I looked inside it. This is the only full-on 100% nature I have. So like I said, I'm glad to have it. So if I do want that energy, I have something of good quality to use, but not typically not something I'm going to buy again. Another one is I like these art kind of collage art manipulated decks. I just got this one in, the Tarot of the Huntress. But I've purchased several, about 3. These are the backs, awesome backs. I've purchased 3 recently, and that's more than enough that I need. So I do not need any more decks that take old paintings and reimagine them into the tarot. Just because I feel like, how well can that be done over and over again? And then you start getting the same images, but on different cards. So I think that gets confusing. But the ones I have don't seem to have the same art in them for the most part. Like I said, I have 3, maybe 4. But this is now a deal breaker where I am not going to purchase any more of these reimagined art. Well, I guess if you consider that, well, the Tarot Volatile, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, I thought it was artwork collaged, but then I've also heard it's AI, so I'm kind of confused. But if you know that answer, leave it down in the comments below. So yeah, this is a great deck. I think she's almost out of copies though. Perfect cardstock. And I got one recently on Make Playing Cards. I'll put that in the link, kind of like the same idea. That one has a lot more nudity in it though. So obviously it's not the same artwork there. And then I have the Pensive Pathway, but that's more modern artwork. And then, yeah, so let's see here. The next one over here is Oracles that I don't get why this is the Soul Trees Ascension deck. Beautiful artwork. But this earthy kind of, or not earthy, like kind of ethereal, but just like go with the flow, nondescript. This has a theme. It's all kind of trees, but it's like hard for me. So I don't like oracles that where there's too many cards where the keyword, and I don't like oracles without keywords at all, except for the soul cards. But I feel like those are in a whole different category. But when they don't match, like I can't make a connection. So I really haven't reached for this much because it's like well-being. How does this? But I guess as I sit here, I can think, well, it's the earth and nature needs each other, and I need to find harmony to have well-being. So I guess I can. Maybe I didn't give this a fair shake, but in general, I like a oracle with a keyword. I do like a keyword, and then like on the card, because I don't necessarily like going to the book. A lot of people like to use books. I have books, but I don't know. I just like to free. I like to be quicker, and yeah. So I'm gonna have to pull this back out because now that I look at this, I think maybe I wasn't in the right kind of headspace. Because kind of looking at this now, I kind of get the keywords, but it still makes my point that to me it could be difficult to get where they're going with why they chose that keyword, and I get caught up in trying to figure out what the hell to read it as a reading. So and then I'll just, as I'm putting this away, talk on another. This is not a deal breaker because I do have mass market decks, but I am much more of an independent deck person. My collection is far outweighed with independent decks than mass market. So the next one is Children of Letha. I got this as a bundle. I never really even wanted this. In general, it wasn't something that I was searching out for when I got the Nameless one, but I'm a sucker for a bundle. I don't know if it's just I haven't connected with it is the issue, or if it's the kind of like topic. This is more of an animal deck. So, I mean, it's very much an animal deck. That's the whole purpose of it. Her latest one, Children of Astara, is a plant-based deck. Which, again, that's another thing, is plant-based decks can't do either. Anything that I just don't have a working knowledge of how they relate to the card meaning is a deal breaker for me. Because I have so much stuff I want to learn. I just can't learn it. So, the quartz I love, the majors I love, but it's the minors that I struggle with. You know, because it's like, how does the animal, how did that get picked? Like, how did you pick, you know, this hammerhead for the 5 of Cups, you know? So I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too hard on it. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. So I just find this one hard to relate to. So, authenticity card. And it came with this awesome, cool emblem bag. So the last two kind of go together. No, I have, sorry. Well, I'll do this and then the last one. So this is the Field Tarot. This one is mass market. I think all the rest I've showed you have been indie. I am not a minimalist in my decks, but I'm not a maximist either. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. But so this is very simple. This is also very pippy, which I guess I don't need. This is Pagan Otherworlds, so I don't even need to show you this because this is kind of 2-in-1, just for time's sake. If you do want to walk through the Pagan Otherworlds, I'm sure you can Google it or leave it down in the comments, and I'll be happy to do it. But it's pips. This is pips with feelings, and this kind of is. But it's like, what I do like about this is it has a keyword on it. So that's kind of why this one has stuck around. It's just almost too simplistic for me to get good intuitive hits on it. But it's beautiful coloration. Very nice deck. Good cardstock. But like this, it's just minimal. And it's, like I said, it's got the, I don't know why these are all kind of funky. It's got the, it's very pippy. So yeah. And then, actually I will show you, just because, why not? Show all the decks. This is the Pagan Otherworlds. And this cardstock takes a little getting used to. It's very slippery. Again, love the quartz. Love the majors. You know, this typical Ace of Wands, that's not an, issue. But then, like, again, it's not like a Marseille kind of pip. It's not, like, I saw the Desert Illumination. That's the other thing, and I should have pulled one out. The other deal breaker for me now is when they rename the suits to where I just really can't get with, like, it's hard for me to remember because I have I do have so many decks, and it's like, but like this, like, to me, very pippy. I mean, is there even a feeling there? I guess of growth. But yeah, so, but this, I love the feel of the art, so that's why it stays and why I picked it up. So, yep. So, the last, I hope this isn't too disjointed. I'm just having a rough go of life right now. So, a lot of in my head emotions things going on, and I did some of it is the Divine Feminine work I did, but some of it is just probably my personality. So then the last one is collage decks. So I am not a fan of collage decks. Now I don't mind some digital collagey kind of things, but there has to be a focus. Like I thought about showing it again. This is the Deathly Flowers. So I don't have anything like this in my collection. This is very collagey, but I love it. Because to me, typically collage can get very disjointed and very busy. So to me, collage decks are very maximalist in that they'll just throw anything in the collage in the deck, and I'm like, how does it all relate? But this one is definitely the exception to the rule. But this is also an example of, well, this actually isn't too bad, but Queen of Air, this has the Six of Earth. This one's easy enough to do, water, so that's, I guess, not a good example. But like when it's like snakes is the Pentacles, and possums are the Wands. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's the deal? I don't know. I get them confused. Circle of Doors does that. I'll pull it out just to show you what I mean in a better context. But yeah, this is very collagey, but not overly done. Some might think it's super crazy, but this is just enough collage to not overwhelm me. Like this one, I totally get this card, but when the whole, every single one is like this and has so much going on, I just, for me personally, again, this is no, like, you love what you want. Like, I support that 100%. These are my deal breakers or things that just don't work for me. Maybe I should have said that at the beginning of the video. But anyway, so now for my final one is Circle of Doors, and I will show you, because I get very confused. In fact, again, I've used this in videos. You would have seen me, as I did the video, get confused. Like obviously stuff of knives. Okay, swords, that's easy. Let's see. And then I get confused, like when they rename also the court system. This is Mother of Cups, but does it come, this is 4 of shells. Like, is this wands or is this pentacles? The cup suit is pretty easy. Keys is, yeah, so it's either keys or shells. Like, I get those two confused on what they are. Like, the cups one, I mean, they keep it cups, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but is the keys, I have to either discern by the word or like read in the guidebook what the meaning of the card is. Yeah, because cups and knives, those are easy ones to tell, but I get very confused. And then like MAGA is one of the court cards, crone, but like MAGA comes after crone, but I would think that crone would, and then maiden of course, that one makes sense, but mother, crone, and MAGA, I get confused. So, but it doesn't make me love this deck any less. I definitely use it. It just puts me on the struggle bus. So anyway, those are my kind of deck deal breakers, or things that aren't typically my aesthetic that I do have in my collection, that aren't really going anywhere, but I don't always reach for because of those reasons. If you have any, let me know down below. Please go check out Frost and Force channel. She was way more articulate than me. This is kind of a hot mess. But if you got this far, much love. I appreciate you. Subscribe, comment, like, do all the things. I appreciate that too. And you have a good day. Blessings.